Hi, welcome to the Christian Family Center's virtual exercise classes. We're glad to have you with us today. A couple reminders before we get started. First and foremost, please check with your healthcare provider if you haven't already before beginning an exercise program. If you feel any dizziness, chest pain, or other discomfort while you're exercising, please stop immediately. By continuing, you're assuming all risks associated with this activity. Have a wonderful workout and a blessed day.
Hi everybody, I'm Colleen and we're going to do a little bit of Pilates today. We're going to be starting on our backs. So go ahead and make your way down to your back in your space. We're going to be coming out of the back with our knees bent. And I'm just going to have you rest your hands to your hips and take just a couple of slow, natural kind of breaths here, getting used to your space, bringing yourself into the start of Pilates. As you probably know, Pilates is a big focus on the action of core muscles. And so we're going to spend a little bit of time right now just really firing up in the core. I'm going to start with an inhale here with my hands on the hips. And as I exhale, I'm going to lift the upper body and just trace up to the knee, coming up into what Pilates calls C-curve, and then release it back down. And let's just take a couple of those. Again, getting used to the space. Pilates requires this C-curve position. I'm trying to push my shoulder blades up as high as I can for a lot of the exercises. And so we're just going to kind of warm up into that position. Two more, coming up into that C-curve position. And the next time you're up, we're going to stay there. So we're just going to hold the C-curve. Bring the arms up, holding your C-curve. All I want you to do is see if you could drop the back of the palm to the ground and then come right back up. I'm going to take two more. Slow focus, trying to draw the belly in and push the shoulder blades up. And take one more. Good. Bring the hands behind the head and lower the upper body. Couple of Pilates crunches here. Big inhale, exhale, and lift. Stop when you get to the top, and then release back down. So I'm pointing here to that abdominal because I'm going to come up, I'm going to lift, I'm going to stop for a second, hold that C-curve, and then release it back down. Let's take two more. Trying to bring the shoulders up together. And the next time you're up, we're going to stay there. So I'm trying to hold up into that C-curve. I'm going to bring the arms down and we're going to head into what Pilates calls the 100. It's a big inhale and I begin to move the arms up and down. The notion is that you do 100. I'm not going to count 100. I'm going to hope that I get pretty close as I continue to talk about what you should be thinking about. But you're welcome to count. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5 counts as 10. We're going to try to do 10 of them. So this here is the beginner 100. We're still getting warmed up. I'm squeezing into the belly. If you've already done some other work today, maybe you want to go to level 200, which is going to be that tabletop. The idea with the arms is the faster I move my arms, the harder it is to keep the upper body up off the ground. And that's what I'm after. I'm trying to stabilize and stay still, even though I have a lot of arm motion going on. Once you start to warm up into this, you might think about lengthening your legs. I'll warn you, we're doing 3 rounds of the 100 today, so you might decide to stay here or maybe even stay here for this first round. I'm going to assume there's 40 more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 30 more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 20. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Go for it. Last 10. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it down. Draw those arms up. I have been accused of miscounting in the 100 before, so I don't usually do not enough. It's usually the other way around. All right, I'm going to take the arms and bring them across the body. Number 2 in this circuit of Pilates exercises is going to be the Pilates corkscrew. So I'm going to bring the heels and knees together. And for this first one, I'm leaving my arms off the chest. It's a very subtle action. I'm going to take a big inhale. As I exhale, I'm circling the legs over to the right so that my left hip, left glute coming right off the ground, and then I'm going to come back into center. I take a big inhale for air in the middle, and then I exhale through a circle to the left. So the whole goal here, particularly on these level 1 exercises, is to really push the envelope. It should feel like you're about to fall over, and then your abdominals kick in, oblique kicks in, and draws you back. Corkscrew. We take one more on each side. Pushing to the toe, no elbow. And release. Good. Lengthen the legs, arms are across the chest. We're coming into roll up, roll down. We're gonna do 3 of them. It's a big inhale. Peel the spine, try to dig those heels in. And we come up. We lengthen at the top. Now, I know a lot of you who are sometimes here in the gym like to use an ab mat. If you don't have an ab mat at home, you might think about rolling up your mat here or even putting a rolled towel behind you just to give you that little bit of extra start at the top. Slow roll down. Don't be in a hurry. Try not to fall. Hang on to it to the very end. And we take roll up, number 2. Again, I'm thinking navel to spine. Really engage the belly. Try not to lean to the... So if I get to the point where, gosh, I can't get any further, and use a leg to help me up and over. So try not to let your elbows come to the ground and push against the ground, which is the tendency in the body. We take one more down and up. Slow motion. And a slow roll up. Beautiful. When you get to the top, we're going to take the arms behind us. Check out the fingers. Make sure the fingers are facing in towards the body. We're going to bend the knees and we're coming into a moving reverse table. So I'm going to take an inhale here and I'm going to push against the ground coming into table and then release. Go ahead and take 5 of those. If you come up into table and that's really uncomfortable on your wrist in any way, I'm going to recommend that you just take a tricep dip here. Just dip back and then come back if it's too much for you on the wrist. Taking the gaze up. 2 more. Good. Last one. When you get into that reverse table, we are going to stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Lengthen your legs. Arms come out front. You can shake that wrist out a little bit if you need to. We take a single roll down. That is round 1 of 3 rounds of that same group of exercises, coming all the way back to the 100. So I'm going to bend the knees, take the hands behind the head, take a couple of slow crunches here, big inhale, using my crunch to really measure up that C curve. And the next time I'm up, I'm going to stay there. Arms come down, and we begin that 100. It's a slow inhale and exhale. Lots of air. Could be you stay here with a level 1. Could be you come up here to this level 2. If you're warm enough, maybe you're going to lengthen all the way up. So it's all about keeping the upper body off the ground. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 4, 5. Here's number 5. So you're halfway there. The faster you move the arms, the harder it's going to be. I'm trying to really stay stable in my core. Lift the shoulder blades, keep the gaze up. Try to be careful you don't dig the chin down. We tend to do this with our head and neck. Try to keep it neutral in the spine. There's 40 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 30. 5, 4, 3, 2, 20. Last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it down. Draw the knees to the chest. Good work. Number 2 is coming back to the corkscrew. I'm going to leave the arms across the chest and take the legs up. What we did before, big inhale, we exhale and we circle to the side, level 1 corkscrew. You're welcome to stay there. For this round, I'm going to take my arms down and come to the level 2 corkscrew, which is going to circle and then lift and lower. So if that's too intense for you, just stick with the level 1. If you're taking the lift, it's like a little candlestick. And the slower you return your hips, the more work that you will get in your level 2 corkscrew. Trying to keep my heels and knees together. Trying to keep a little point in the toe. Making sure that I don't push up onto the head and neck. It comes onto the shoulders and upper back. Let's take one more on each side. And release it down. Good work. Lengthen the legs. We're coming into 3 roll-ups again. Putting the arms out front. Big inhale. Try to stay right through the middle. Don't let the elbows come down and lean to the side. I have a little hiccup in mine today. I think I practiced too many of them yesterday in preparation for the video. My abdominals are saying, no, we're not doing a smooth roll up today. 2 more. Try to be as slow as you can on the way down. Just keep drawing back until all of a sudden the ground is there. Last one. Good work. Pay attention to where you're placing your fingers. We're going to once again be coming in towards that reverse table. Again, if you did not like the reverse table, feel free to take a tricep dip here. I am going to take a reverse plank this time. So I'm going to lengthen the legs, still taking 5. Big inhale here. Exhale, we lift up. Slowly release it down. Don't be in a hurry. So maybe you do 1 of the reverse plank or maybe 2 and then switch back to the table pose. So you could bend your knees at any time. Whatever's going to work for you. There are 3 more. 1. 2. And on this last one, whether table or whether plank, we are going to stay. Breathe. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Shake out the wrist if you need to. Draw the arms forward. We take a single roll down to get down for round 3. Bending the knees, hands behind the head. Should start to feel familiar. We're coming to a slow crunch. I'm making it a little harder every time because as the body gets used to it, like, oh, all right, that's what they want me to do, okay. Next time you're up, you're gonna stay. Go ahead and bring the legs into tabletop, or you can take them all the way up if you wish. Arms are coming out to the side. It is our last set of 100. Big inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. So again, you're keeping the arm motion here. It could be the legs are here. I'm gonna take the hardest version because it's our last time. I'm gonna try for a drop down with the legs on the inhale. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still keeping the shoulder blades off the ground. And I'm only dropping as low as I can, keep my spine in neutral. So if I get too low, my back starts to arch. I don't want my back to arch. I'll call it halfway there. There's 50, 9, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 40. 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 30. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 20, might have miscounted there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're out. Draw the knees to the chest. Good work. So we're back to the corkscrew. Arms across the chest. Level 1 is here. Level 2, I'm gonna lift into that candlestick. If you're ready for level 3 is gonna go up and over my right shoulder. So I'm gonna lift and come up and over. Only if your back will let you do that. And then from my right shoulder, I'm gonna move my legs to my left shoulder and I'm gonna slowly return the legs. Switch to the right and then come back. So you make up a combination that's gonna work for you. I'm just gonna remind you what all the choices are. Level 1, here. I was practicing with my daughter Sarah yesterday. She said, level 1's the hardest, which is true. If you really push the envelope here, so it feels like you're gonna fall over, obliques even more so than the harder, what appears to be harder ones. Level 2, I'm gonna roll and lift like a candlestick. And roll and lift. If you're taking the level 3, you're making sure that the pressure is felt on your shoulders and upper back, not coming onto the head and neck. Switching sides. 1. And release it down. Now I was complaining about the roll-ups the first time. I don't know what it'll be like after a third round of corkscrew. Here we go. Roll it on up. Lengthen at the top. You get 2 more chances. Slow roll. Number 2, push the energy to the middle. Make that Rex abdominal fire up. Yeah. And we lengthen. Last one, down and up. When you get seated forward fold. So keeping my gaze right out over the feet, trying not to round in the spine. Breathe. So last exercise, returning to that reverse table or reverse plank. I'm just gonna let you play a little bit. I'm gonna throw out lots of options of things to try. Remember, if your wrist doesn't like the table at all, you're gonna come here to a tricep dip. Maybe we're here, lifting up and down in reverse table. Maybe we're here, lifting up and down in reverse plank. I'm gonna go back to the table and start to play with one leg a little bit. So I'm gonna come from table. I'm gonna see if I could lift a leg, and then we're just gonna play a little. Could you get to the fingertips? If I've got my left leg in the air, I'm gonna come to my fingertips on the right. Maybe wave up the other arm. Maybe go slow enough that I could catch it. So just play a little bit. And switch sides. Maybe you don't lift your arms. We can also do this business from reverse plank. So maybe I'm gonna come to reverse plank and lift a leg. Just try some combination that's gonna push you to the edge here on our last time through. And release it down. Beautiful. Cross your right leg in front of your left this time. Really draw the sit bones down. We're just gonna lengthen up and over. Coming as low as your body will let you go. That could be to your forearm. Maybe the head can come down. Maybe the chest. And then go ahead and rise up, and we'll switch legs. Left leg's in front, same stretch. Circle through the wrist if they're stressed from all of those reverse tables. All right, we are going to make our way to standing. So just go ahead and come all the way up. We're gonna come right into the middle of the mat. And we're gonna bring our heels and knees together towards a very narrow chair pose squat. Just take a big inhale and come into a moving chair pose here. I'm just gonna come down and up a couple of times, drawing the heels and knees together, pushing back towards the hips. And then go ahead and come into a pulsing chair pose. Pulse, narrow squat chair. And then go ahead and come into a static chair. And we rise up. Good. Step your feet out. We're coming into a wide squat position. Toes and knees are forward. I'm going to come into a moving wide squat. Big inhale, exhale, sit. Pilates focus here. I'm thinking about contracting in the abdominal, pushing towards my lower back each time that I squat. I call this moving squat. Go ahead and come into pulsing squat. And go ahead and come into static squat. And release out. Good. Step it even wider, coming into plie. Toes and knees out wide, shoulders are right up. I'm coming into a moving plie. Inhale at the top. Exhale, sit down plie. And then go ahead and come into a pulsing plie. Belly's tight. Go ahead and come into a static plie. So all of that we just did, the chair, the wide, and the plie, was all by way of introducing my game, which is kind of a Colleen version of Simon Says. I'm gonna ask you to either do a chair, a wide, or a plie, and either a moving, a static, or a pulsing. We're still sitting here in static plie. Are you ready to start the game? All right, release out. Last thing to know about the game is it could be I'm gonna go from chair into wide, into plie with a step, or I'm gonna try to hop when I do that. So when I call chair to wide, it's gonna be here, and then to plie is to here. Choose what's gonna work for you. We're gonna start in a moving chair. I'm gonna call either moving, static, or pulsing, and either chair, wide, or plie. Pulsing plie. Pulsing wide. Static chair. Static wide. Moving wide. moving plie, pulsing plie, pulsing wide, pulsing chair, static wide, static plie, static wide, static plie, static wide, static plie, static plie. Ha, gotcha. And stand it up, shake it out. All right, good work. I can't hear my microphone, but I bet you can hear me breathing, and that's it. So much trouble to set up the game, we have to play it at least twice. So we're gonna start this time in a wide squat. Big inhale, exhale, wide moving squat. Pulsing chair. Static wide. Doesn't have to jump, it can step out. Moving plie. Moving chair. Static wide. Static chair. Static wide. Static chair. Static wide. Static chair. Static plie. Static chair. Static plie. Static chair. Static plie. Static chair. Static chair. That'll do it. Hands are down, hips are up. Lengthen into forward fold and breathe. All right, from the middle of the mat, we're just gonna come down onto our left side here. Coming into some side lying work. Go ahead and bring it all the way down to the ground. Take a second and extend the arm. Make sure the head is low. I do not want to be pushing against my head. So find a position that keeps the head in alignment, but you're not pressing on it. Bring the legs forward. Coming into clamshell here. So I'm stacking the hips. I'm going to take a big inhale and exhale. Lift the top leg and release. Now again, just like I was talking earlier in the corkscrew, sometimes the level one, the first level we're trying, can be the hardest if right there you really push that range of motion, really take that leg to the edge. Halfway there, 5 more. Belly's tight, hips are stacked. There's 5. Good. I'm going to leave the legs where they are, and I'm just going to change the upper body so that I'm moving up onto my forearm. Now be really careful. We don't want to sink down into the chest here, so I'm pushing up as high as I can, pushing to that forearm, trying to stack the hips and stay tall, coming back again to the clamshell for 10. So my heels are touching, but I'm trying to take that knee as wide as I can get it without letting go with the heel. Again, it is about extending the range of motion. Getting into those hips and outer thighs. 6, 5, 3. Now for the next one, you're welcome to stay here and do another 10 clamshells. I'm going to come into a half plank. So my legs are basically where they were, but I'm going to get rid of my hip now so that I have to hold on a little bit more with the core. We're back to clam. There's 10. Try to be really still everywhere else in the body except for where the leg's moving. There's 7, 6, 5, last one, and release it down. Good. Go ahead and lengthen the legs. We're going to come up to a full side plank. You can leave your bottom knee down if you need to, or maybe start by putting one foot in front of the other as a transition, pushing up into the forearm plank, and you could stay there, or maybe you can stack your feet. So just play. If you're in the middle of your living room, nobody can see you. You can play with whatever you want, right? You could try to lift your leg. You could try to catch your leg. I'm not in my living room, so I won't play so much, but play with whatever you'd like. Breathe. And release. Good work. Coming up onto this left knee, we're coming to yoga's gate pose. I'm on this left leg and on the left arm. I'm going to lengthen that right leg and just go ahead and lift it. Option 1 stays here. Option 2, bend that right leg, see if you can catch it. Push that right foot into the hand for a quad stretch. So this next set's gonna stay here on this left wrist. You could come back down to your forearm if you need to. If this gets to be uncomfortable on the wrist, feel free to take that modification. I'm gonna release, take my right toes in the front. I'm trying to keep my hips stacked, and I'm gonna rainbow from the front to the back and to the front again, kind of a rainbow arc. But I'm trying not to change this hip alignment. Right hip's right up on top of the left hip. There are 7 more. There's a little micro bend in my left elbow. 6. 4 more rainbows. 3. You could also take this whole sequence from standing. So you could stand with your left leg and your left arm against the wall. Take the same kind of motion with the leg. Good. Take the leg up. We take a small circle for 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. So go the other way. 10, sure. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. We're going to bring it down with the soles of the feet together as we transition to the other side. Take the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide, and we just draw forward. Should feel good in that hip and outer thigh that we were just working. And the other leg should be saying, oh good, it's about to be me. All right, make your way all the way over to the other side. We're coming all the way back down. Remember, the recommendation here is to be careful about the head. We don't want to push against the head with the hand, but we want to support the head so that it stays in alignment. I'm taking a clamshell leg about 45 degrees forward, stacking my hips and thinking range of motion here. Big inhale, exhale during the exertion. So again, I'm trying not to open the hip. The hip stays really still. We have 3 rounds of clamshell where you can really focus on stillness everywhere else in the body except that outer thigh. There's 7, 6, 3, and last one. And again, you're welcome to stay here. I'm going to take it up to the forearm. And again, I'm not going to sink into my shoulder. I'm going to sit up really tall, engage that side body. Hips are stacked, and here we go, 10. Heels stay together, but I'm pushing that range of motion. 8. 5. 1. Again, you're welcome to stay here. Last round, I'm going to come up into that half side plank. So I'm keeping my forearm down and keeping my knee down, but I'm getting rid of my hip, and I'm back to clam. 10. Think about the range of motion right to the end. There are 7 more. Stillness everywhere else in the body. 5. 3. And last one. Good. Making our way to that full side plank again. You could leave the bottom knee down, or maybe try one foot in front of the other as a way to transition up, using my top arm to help me up. And then I'm going to stack the feet. See if I can come into that full side plank. Again, you can play a little if you want. You could try taking a leg forward or up in the air. Breathe. For 3, 2, and come on down. Making our way to gate. So I'm coming up onto the right leg. I've got my knee under my hip. I'm trying to get the wrist under the shoulder. I'm going to lift that left leg. Option 1 stays here. Option 2, see if you can catch that left foot. Push against the hand with that left foot gate pose. Good work. Go ahead and release. And now I come into rainbow arc. So left toes are coming Keep the arch of the foot parallel, bringing the heel down, but trying not to open the hip. There are 10. And 9. Takes a lot of concentration to really keep the hips square. It's much easier to open up as you come back, right? Trying not to do that. 7. Very subtle action. 6. And 4. 3. Good. Extend the leg and we come into a small circle for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, circle the other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, ouch, ouch, and 1. Good. Release it down. Once again, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. Drawing those sits bones down, lengthen forward and breathe. All right, our last strength set, we are working our way to our belly here. We're gonna come into what Pilates calls a swan dive. So go ahead and come down to your belly. And we're gonna draw the arms to your side. And we're gonna start with kind of a yoga sphinx pose here. So I'm gonna leave my legs down, forearm is down, and I'm just gonna come up into a static pose here. Hips are down, shoulder blades are squeezing, sphinx. Getting the back ready for the work. Then release down, and we're gonna leave the upper body right where it is. Arms are here, nose is hovering. We're gonna alternate a leg lift, starting with your right. So it's a big inhale, exhale, lift the leg, release it down, and we switch. Take one more of the alternating. Again, you're inhaling here, you're exhaling during the exertion. Point the toe, just a little bit of motion. And then if it's comfortable for you, we're gonna start to lift both legs. Let's try 3 of those, both legs. For 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Tuck the arms towards the chest. We take it back into child's pose. Lengthen in the lower back. So we're going to kind of wring out the spine in this set. We're going to work on the swan dive, and then we'll take child's pose in the middle. Go ahead and come back down to your belly. And this time I'm going to combine the arms and the legs together. So I'm going to start with an upper body raise. It's a big inhale. Exhale, lift up towards that sphinx pose. And then come back down. Hover with your nose, and we lift both legs, or it could be one at a time if both is too much. Release and go back to the upper body. Release, and we come to the lower body. 2 more of each. Really getting into those back muscles. And the glute. 1 more. Good work, child's pose. Should feel good as you lengthen and sit. All right, peel forward back to your belly. We have one more set. We're gonna come into the more advanced swan dive. I've got the arms in that sphinx pose. And we'll start with upper body only, but this time, as the upper body comes down, I'm gonna start to lift the legs. And now the legs come down, I'm gonna start to lift the upper body. And then if your back feels really ready for it, the advanced swan dive is actually gonna let go of the ground when I get to the top and literally dive. Leave it out if it isn't comfortable, or we let go for 3, 2, and child's pose. 3. Good work. Go ahead and creep forward. This time we're gonna just come to your forearm. So I'm gonna take that elbow right underneath my shoulder. I'm gonna come to a forearm plank. So heels and knees are gonna come together. You could keep your knees down if you need to. Last little push here before we take our restorative end. Leading with your left arm, push yourself up into full plank. Let's take the legs a little wider, actually. Leading with your left, come down. Leading with your right, come up. Leading with your right, come down. 2 more on each side, left up, left down. right up, right down. Left up, left down, right up. Hold it, lift your hips. Maybe walk the hands back a little bit. Downward facing dog should feel good. Little shoulder stretch in down dog here. Leave your right arm down. Take your left arm and reach it past your right knee. Maybe gripping at the thigh or the calf. And I'm gonna twist a little here, trying to get some space between my shoulder blades. And then release, and we'll switch. Good one. Bring the knees down. Go ahead and sit back into shell pose. Last time here. Lengthen. From shell, we're coming back to our forearm plank. We get another lovely round here. Maybe take the legs even, ankles, knees, and hips in alignment. Forearm plank. Right arm leads, come up to full. Right arm down. Left arm up. Left arm down. 3 more of each. Right up, right down. Left up, could be on your knees. Left down, 2 more of each. Right up, right down. Left up, left down. Last one, right arm up and down. Left arm up, hold it. Lift those hips. Maybe walk it back a little bit. Downward facing dog. I'll start with the right arm this time. I'm gonna reach past that left leg, trying to make some space between the shoulder blades. Take your gaze underneath the left arm. And we switch. Hold your down dog. Then come through to seated. So we're bringing the legs into the middle. I always like to take our last set in the same place where we had our first set. So you're gonna go ahead and roll yourself all the way back down onto your back. Bend the knees when you get there. And take a couple of slow crunches here. Big inhale, exhale and lift. The next time you're up at the top of the crunch, we're gonna stay there. Cross your left leg over your right and draw the figure 4 in. Bring the upper body down and draw the figure 4 down. And we come back up, we'll take 5 on that side. There's 5, 4, hip is wide, 3, good. Last one, go ahead and plant the right foot down, hold the figure 4. Bring the arms to a T. We're gonna take this figure 4 to your right side. So just go ahead and draw to the right. Maybe the left foot can make it to the ground. It's okay if it doesn't. I'm gonna take my right arm and just gently press on that outer thigh to go a little lower. If it's comfortable, take your gaze over to the left. The upper body here is about the shoulder blades. See if you can get in the back. Think about in your back. You get that shoulder blade towards the ground. Spinal twist. Release and unwind, plant the feet, hands behind the head. I go back up to a couple of slow Pilates crunches here. Big inhale, always thinking about that C-curve position in the upper body. And the next time you're up, stay up in the C-curve. We're gonna cross that right leg over the left and draw that figure 4 in. Then figure 4 comes down to the ground as the upper body comes back to the ground. Crunch it all in. There are 5. And 4. Three. And last one. Keep your figure 4. But bring the upper body back down and bring the foot down. I'm gonna go ahead and come out to the T with my arms, and this time the figure 4 is dropping to my left. Again, maybe that right foot makes it to the ground, maybe it doesn't. Maybe the left arm comes and gives a little bit of help. I'm going to take my gaze over to the right. Again, I am thinking about my shoulder blades. So really make it about the back, the upper back, trying to draw down towards the mat. Lots of air. Release it all back to the center. Go ahead and unwind. Just like we did in the very beginning. Fingertips are on the hips, so I'm going to take 3 slow crunches. Big inhale. Make these the best C curves you've had in the entire class. Hold your C curve. And release it back down. 2 more. Again, the highest C curve you've had. This could be the hardest moment right there. Hold it high. And release. 1 more. Take up as high as you can. Hold your C curve. Arms are going to come out over the chest, drawing the palms to the ground, just like we did in the very opening. There are 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Release it down. Bend those knees into the chest. We're going to lift the upper body. Take a little bit of a side-to-side rock. Give a lot of attention here into that lower back today. Could be front and back, could be side to side, whatever works. And then eventually, we're going to take a side-to-side rock and roll over to the side. Coming up into seated, whatever is comfortable for you in terms of the legs. I'm going to cross mine. And we're going to take 2 big breaths together here. Take a big inhale. Exhale and release. 1 more final breath, big inhale. And exhale down. Thanks so much for joining me for Pilates today. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you again real soon. Thank you.